Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Tech Help Club. So today I am going to discuss about zones, how we can create zones in FortiGate Firewall. So here we have a very good documentation provided by the Fortinet itself. If you want to learn anything about FortiGate, we have a administration guide here. You can just go through it to learn more about that. Today I am focusing on zone. So what is zone? Zones are group of one or more physical or virtual FortiGate interfaces that you can apply security policies to control inbound and outbound traffic. So grouping interfaces and VLAN sub-interfaces into zones simplify the creation of security policies where a number of network segments can use the same policy settings and protection profiles. So what does that mean? So rather to create policies separately for each interfaces, whether it's a physical or a virtual interface, we can create a zone and call all the individual interfaces under one zone and apply a one zone policy so that it would be followed by all the interfaces belongs to that zone. So let me show you one example here. So you can see we have a three zones, zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3. So we have call out all the virtual or physical interfaces under the zones. Zone 1 having these interfaces, zone 2 having these interfaces and zone 3 having these interfaces. So we are not creating individual policies for all the interfaces. We are creating three policies, zone 1 policy, zone 2 policy and zone 3 policies. So whatever belongs to zone 1 will follow the zone 1 policy and zone 2 policy, zone 3 policy and so on. So let's move on to our lab. So here I am using the same topology as I have used in the Day-2 tutorial. So it would be very easier for you guys to understand if you will see my Day-2 tutorial first. So in that one, I have explained how two virtual interfaces or the VLAN interfaces can communicate to the internet. So in this topology, you can see we have a VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 connected to the server 1 and server 2. Both are able to access the internet. So to make them work, what I did, I have created two policies. One is for VLAN 10 and one is for VLAN 20. But here, to limit the configuration, I will create one zone and put both the interfaces in this zone. And I will make one policy only. Rather to create two different policy, I will create one. So both the interfaces will follow the zone policy. So let's begin. So let me start my firewall and my WAN appliance. Let me start all the devices first. And let me check what IP has firewall taken. So you can see here firewall is connected via port 4 to the management. So I need to check what IP it's taking on port 4 to access the GUI interface of the firewall. So here it's booting up. So the username will be admin and I have configured the password 123 in my previous video. And show system interfaces. And you can see here we have a IP on port 4 192.168.11.144. Just copy it and take the GUI access. Sometimes it will take some more time because it's virtual environment, so it will not gives you results so quickly. So let me refresh this, paste it again. So here we go, we have a username admin and password is 123. Hit login and I will show you the firewall policies what we have right now. Just go to policies and object, firewall policy. Here you can see we have two policies. So why two? Because in my previous tutorial I have already shown you how these two interfaces can communicate to the internet. So for that, we have to create two policies separately for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. But now I will create a zone and put those interfaces inside a zone and will make one policy. So first of all, we need to delete both the policies. Delete, hit OK, delete and hit OK. So once it's deleted, you have to go to interfaces. You can see here we already have created two virtual interfaces, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. If you want to learn how it's created, you need to refer my previous video, the day 2 video. So go to create here and zone and write any name like DMZ zone and block the intra-zone traffic so that interfaces belongs to particular zone cannot communicate with each other. So call out the interface members. So here our interface members are port 3, server 1 VLAN 10 interface, server 2 VLAN 20 interface, and hit OK. So I have created a zone and put all three interfaces in one zone. So now you have to make one firewall policy. So just go to the firewall policy, create new and give them name DMZ to internet, and incoming interface would be DMZ. So in DMZ, all the interfaces like port 3, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 already called out. So we need to configure incoming interface as a DMZ interface here. So outgoing interface would be WAN 1 and source all, destination would be all, services would be all, and that's it, and log all the session and hit OK. So now your policy is already created. So I'm not creating, you have to create more things here like the static root and the DNS, but I already covered in the day 2 video. Let me show you. If you go to DNS here, I have already configured DNS, and if you go to static root, I have already configured static root. So whatever hitting to the port 3, so that will goes out through the WAN 1 with this gateway. So let me do some testing now. Let me open server 1 and server 2. So let's check the IP property. So here I have already configured IP. So 10.02.1 is the IP of server 2 and gateway is 254, which is configured on our FortiGate virtual interface VLAN 20 and the DNS server 1 and 2. Hit OK and cross it. Let me open the terminal and do some testing. Here you can see I am able to access the internet now. In the similar way, if I'll go to the second server, you need to configure the IP, the control panel network. Hit here 10.0.1 10.0.1.1 and our name server would be 8.8.8 and 1.1.1. Hit apply and cross it also, and go to the terminal and see if ping works. And here you can see I am able to access the ping. Let me open the web browser as well to show you some web applications. So here you can access fb.com or maybe youtube.com. So here I am able to access both the sites, right? So let me see the logs. For logs, you all know we have to go to dashboard, FortiView sessions. You can see a lot of sessions here. Source is 10.0.2.1, which is accessing internet and Facebook, and we have a 10.1 as well, which is accessing internet. So from FortiView sources, you can see we have two sources which are hitting to this firewall, and FortiView destination, you can see the destination what they are trying to access. and all the logs you can see here in this 40 forward traffic. You can see logs here as well under the logs and report. So you can see source is 10.02.1 is trying to access this destination with WAN one interface as a exit interface, right? If you want to see the traffic via filtering, you can apply a filter as well. Here we have a add filter option. If you go here, so let me select the source IP. So source IP is 10.0.1.1. Now you can see this IP is trying to hit the destination 8.8. So you can easily filter out the traffic as per your requirement. So that's all for today. So I hope you have understand the VLAN concept and the zone concept as well. If you still have any query or any doubts, you just write down me and comment. I am very happy to help you guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.